How's everybody doing out there on the internet? This is your friend Big Frank at Eclectic Collecting, and as promised, we're going to be featuring in this episode of Eclectic Collecting Arsenal my Ruger LCP Series 1. This little firearm right here, which fits in the palm of my hand, is a very trusted firearm. This is the gun I usually carry when I can't carry my full-size 1911. I prefer my 1911, but it's not always practical for me to be carrying that. So when I can't carry that, I carry this little gun. It is an absolutely beautiful example of a pocket pistol. Pocket pistols are a popular gun that are used for either backup purposes or if you are unable to carry a full-size gun either in the waistband, outside the waistband. This is really good because these fit in your pockets. These are also popular for you ladies out there. This is also called a purse gun. And sometimes, well, there are ladies out there that carry their holsters. I'm trying to think of a way to put this without catching any without catching any strikes, but there are holsters out there that are designed for female concealed carry, and they go underneath your shirt attached to what is under there. And the method of drawing those and firing them is called a flashbang. That's all I'm going to say about that. I find it very funny, but these particular guns are excellent for personal defense, but they have their drawbacks because these particular pocket pistols routinely are found in .380, sometimes 22 caliber, 32 caliber. Some of the ones that are a little bit larger than this can be found in 9mm. I have this dime right here for comparison. For the .380, it is not a large round. It is a small round, not a lot of mass, not a lot of power compared to, let's say, the 9mm. Definitely not as potent as the .45, which I carry on a daily basis whenever I can. But these particular guns also have their drawbacks from their larger counterparts. This one in particular is not designed for long range or precision shooting. This is designed for close quarters and point blank defense. Realistically, what you're going to be doing for this gun, if you are in danger and you have to draw it, the assailant is going to be usually right in your face or less than 10 feet away from you. That's the effective range from what I believe these guys can handle. The Ruger LCP is designed for close quarters. It's not a precision long distance gun. In fact, outwards beyond 15 feet, you know, I would draw, but I would not fire at 15 feet. And there's a reason for that. These pocket pistols, not just the Ruger LCP, but others like this, are stripped down. They are very basic. In fact, you notice this red trigger right here? I have actually modified this gun so that it could be a little bit more comfortable for me. Now, usually somebody says you're modifying a .380 pocket pistol. What is wrong with you? You're wasting money right there. And in general, they would be right. But I just wanted this thing to be absolutely comfortable for when and if I ever have to use it. Hopefully I never have to. So the modifications do include this little magazine extender right here, so it fits a lot more comfortably in my grip and I can grip it a little better. The trigger, the stock trigger on the Ruger LCP, this gun I absolutely love, and the following for these guns is very good. In fact, these guns were so successful, they released a Series 2, which is an updated version of this, but the original trigger on this thing was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. The pull was too much, and it felt really, really flimsy, like I was going to break it if I pulled too hard. And there are other caveats about having a stripped down gun as well. Let me show you. As you can see, we have nothing in there. I have already check to make sure that this gun is empty. There's a little window right here, which is one of the features I like. You can always check visually to see if there's a round chambered. But take a look at this. There is no locking mechanism when this gun is empty. Normally on a semi-automatic pistol, when you're empty and you shot the last round, the slide will lock back like this as an indicator that it's empty. On the Ruger LCP, it doesn't do that. In fact, in order to lock the slide back, this switch right here, you have to put it up, and even then, sometimes it doesn't catch. This is a huge design flaw that I really don't like. And to be perfectly honest, this should have been not put on this one. The Series 2 has an upgrade where it does have this locking back automatically, and there's a safety added on to the stock trigger. Yeah, you heard me just right. On the Series 2, there is a safety on it. On this one, there is no safety, which is kind of awkward. It feels weird for me to walk around with a gun with no safety. Other things that I don't like, if you're wondering why I'm talking about what I don't like, I'm being completely honest with this review right here. An additional item I don't like is the sights. They are fixed. There is no adjustment to them, and to be perfectly honest, the sight profile is not the best. I don't like solid black sights right there. Kind of takes away from the accuracy, but then again, as I said before, this thing is not designed to be accurate. It's designed for close quarters combat. And that's what I really don't like about it. But what I do like about it is how light it is. It is an extremely light gun, even loaded down with the 6-round magazine. And you're probably wondering, hey Frank, 6 rounds? That's not a lot right there. As I mentioned before, these pocket pistols are designed for close quarters combat. They're either designed to neutralize a target immediately or dissuade him from continuing. So beyond 6 rounds, you don't really need much more than that. I also like the checkered pattern right here on the grip. Gives you a nice, solid, firm feel to it, and how it feels in your hand is honestly pretty good. Now granted, I did add this for a little extra grip, but if this wasn't here, just 2 fingers along with that, and I would have a full solid grip on it. Overall, this little gun is really good. I like it. I wouldn't trust my life with it if I didn't like it, but this is all my opinions right here. We need to go to the cold hard facts. So, before we hit the range, let's go to the tail of the tape. Now, the name LCP stands for Lightweight Compact Pistol. This one has a 6+1 capacity for its ammunition, but it can be up to 12 in later models. The 2.75-inch barrel, not really good for extended range, but it makes up for it with its 9.6-ounce weight. Very light, very easy to use. Now, this particular gun has a maximum range of 15 yards, but there are some reviewers who tested it up to 23 yards and found it to be extremely accurate. We're not going to be testing it out that far. We're going to use more realistic distances. So if you guys are ready, let's do this and hit the range. Here we are at the Texas Gun Club, my home away from home, and we're going to test the LCP. Now we're starting off at a realistic close quarters combat distance. This is 3 yards, about 9 feet. This is what this gun was designed for, and we are going to do all headshots on this one. Let's take a look. So we got 6 shots off on that one, but there was one jam on there. All you have to do is clear the jam by sliding the action back and you're good to go. And let's take a look at the results right there. As I said, this distance was what it was designed for. Look at that. 6 perfect shots right in the head. Let's do a little bit difficult and back it up to 5 yards. managed to get all the shots off on that one except for one because there was another jam. So I'm going to do a quick reload here, and we're going to aim at center mass this time. And right there in the upper right hand corner, you can see the first series of shots. Right center mass is going to be the second series of shots. And at 5 yards, this gun is very good at what it does. 5 yards, 15 feet. Look at that. You can see that with a smaller target, less to see, you're going to get a bigger grouping. But on a center mass with a realistic target, your group is going to be nice and strong. So far, this gun is performing very well. Now we're backing it up to 7 yards. This is my average training distance, 21 feet. Now I know what you're thinking, Frank, this thing's rated out to 15 yards. Why didn't you take it out all the way? Well, at 7 yards, 21 feet, that's my comfortable distance. If you do not approach me with ill intent at 21 feet, I may draw it, but I won't shoot. All right, and as you can see right there, center mass, all 6 shots hit it. A little bit of a wider group, but this thing performed beautifully. And here we go to the final rating for the Ruger LCP Series 1 380 semi-automatic pistol. And as you know here at Eclectic Collecting, we grade all the guns on 3 criteria: reliability, accuracy, and fun. So, is this a reliable gun? Well, it did have some issues in the beginning where 2 shells got jammed inside of it, but it's not like they were difficult to clear. You pull the slide back, you're good to go, back in action, and the jams occurred after the first shots had gone off. So even if this was a self-defense situation, I would have gotten a couple shots off before a shell jammed, and even then it's a quick clear. So it doesn't take much away from the reliability. It's still fired, and a quick clear, it does take some points away from it. So we're going to give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars on reliability. Every other shot went off without a hitch. Now, accuracy. Did I take this out to its maximum range of 15 yards? No, because as I mentioned earlier in the video, these are more realistic distance tests. So any assailant who is going to be close enough to cause you to draw your gun, he's not going to care what distance he's at. If you draw a bead on somebody and they have half a brain, they're going to back off. So testing it out to 15 yards, really not necessary. And above all else, I'm not testing it out to 23 yards like other reviewers. That's just ridiculous right there. But what we tested it at, 3 yards, 5 yards, and 7 yards. Those are all my training distances, and this thing did really, really well, maxing it out 5 out of 5 stars on this one. Now, the last category, fun. Is it fun to shoot? Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a fun little gun to shoot. You know, ideally, you're not going to consider it fun if you draw it in a self-defense situation, but let's say you're not going to use this as your daily carry. It's a great gun for practice. It's a great gun for plinking. It's a great trainer gun for you to teach people how to shoot. It's a fun little gun to have. And to be perfectly honest, you've seen it in several of the shots I took. This little thing has a nice little muzzle flash. I dig it. I love muzzle flash. If a gun has muzzle flash, I'm instantly going to want it. It's a fun little gun to have, and I'm going to give it a solid 4 on that one as well. So we got a 4, a 5, and a 4. Our final rating is going to be a solid 4.5 stars on this one. I really can't say anything too bad about the Ruger LCP. It's a little gun, but it is a beast of a little gun. And it has its quirks, If you're going to nitpick it to death, yes, you're going to find a whole bunch of stuff wrong with it. But when it boils down to it, when it's time for it to perform, it does its job, and it does its job very good. And that's going to do it for this edition of Eclectic Collecting Arsenal. Make sure you click that subscribe button, follow for the shorts, because we still got a lot more cool stuff to show you. Until then, this is Big Frank signing off and reminding all of you, if you're muzzle downrange, keep your powder dry, and above all else, be safe, everybody. Happy trails.